So hi, I'm Guda, and I'm here to show you the passive skill tree and the themes associated with it. So this is the passive skill tree. It looks kind of familiar. It might not, depending on when you're watching this video, like maybe 5 years down the line, it is completely different. It's not even like red, green, blue anymore. It's just like, cyan and magenta, and then like, there's some rainbow over here for whatever reason, and it like kind of arcs over, and I don't know. It could be anything, but this is what it currently looks like. And there are some associated themes with each side, and if you don't really need to know where everything is, but you can kind of quickly figure out where things kind of should be and look for them in those locations. So there are three colors. Obviously, there's the blue side, there's the red side, and there's the green side, and each have their associated themes with them. So red is really associated with like armor and like life. There's kind of like a lot of life nodes over here, and mainly strength. So most strength nodes exist over here. And the reason behind this is that like red's really associated with really like real assurances. So something happens, it happens the same almost every single time. That's why fire damage is also associated over here, because fire damage has a really, really small damage range, and if it does ignite anything, it has a really constant amount of damage associated with it. So the elemental status effect itself is also associated with the theme of this whole area. So mainly like just a bunch of assurances. Like you also get elemental equilibrium or elemental adaptation here, which gives more, it increases the maximum resistances, so like more assurances for everything. The top part of the tree, the blue section, is associated with randomness, crit chance, and lightning damage. And then energy shield as well. So it's not really meant to be tanking, but it's, there's kind of the idea that it can take a bunch of damage, but not a lot of continuous damage. So it can do a bunch, but it's not really like constant about it. So you have things like static blows for chance to shock, lightning damage, and a lot of crit chance. So it's really, really random. The damage range on most lightning damage attacks and spells and stuff is usually like 1 to like 300 or something like that. It's really, really random. Fire damage usually has like a 2 to 3 damage range, so like 200 to 300 damage. Or if we're trying to have like kind of equal amounts, it would be what, like 125 to 200-ish. That would be like the regular like fire damage range. But the status element associated with lightning damage is shock, which you have a chance to shock if you happen to crit, or you have a chance to shock with static blows. So you have a chance to cause a shock, and when a shock's been caused, it does, like, the creature takes extra damage, so it keeps piling on damage. And like that's what this whole side's kind of built around. So just energy shield, crit chance, and lightning damage. And then the green section of the tree is associated with kind of damage avoidance, and yeah, mainly just damage avoidance. So things don't happen regularly, like maybe when they happen it hurts, but it's mainly just a lot of avoidance. That's why you have the whole like avoidance cluster, like here, here, and here. It's all just avoidance. That's also where acrobatics exists. So you can see there, and it's also the other stat that's associated with green is evasion. So if you want to get a lot of evasion on the guy, which gives enemies with accuracy a chance to miss, that's where it's all centered around. What else? Oh yeah, the associated element with green is cold damage. So again, damage avoidance, because cold, as its elemental status element, can proc chill and freeze, and chill slows enemies, and freeze freezes enemies, and then they just don't do anything. So it's kind of like avoidance in that, yeah, they just don't do anything. So that's what all this set is associated with. Yeah, so knowing all this, like, kind of like, how do you plan out a build? So say I wanted to grab a lot of armor, just a lot of armor nodes. There's all the armor nodes you're usually going to find in the bottom left of the tree. So if I wanted to get a ton of armor, I could, maybe if I just start a Scion. Yeah, go over here, grab that, and then grab that whole body and soul circle, and maybe Steel Skin over here. And now I've got, a pretty crappy build with like 200% increased armor. I'll probably grab more life nodes, but always trying to get like a ton of armor for whatever reason. It's all there for me. What else? Yeah, so really when you're like planning out a build, or when I plan out a build, I'm not really looking for grabbing specific sets of nodes. Like I'm not looking to grab Berserking, even though it's like a really, really strong attack node. Well, really what I'm looking to do when I'm planning out a build is connecting the things that I need in the best manner that like suits me. So if I needed a build that grabbed like Conduit and all the Frenzy charges, because I wanted to Conduit Frenzy like crazy, I'd have to grab Conduit and I'd have to grab all the Frenzy charges. Or maybe I could get by with just 2 Frenzy charges. I'm not really sure. Maybe I could get by with just that. But maybe I could go this way and grab some juicy nodes along the way, like these life nodes, and then, thick skin. So, grab some pretty good life nodes. And then I could maybe grab Iron Reflexes, and maybe I could grab Acceleration. Maybe I want to use Dual Wield with Frenzy. Probably don't, but maybe I do. Maybe I can grab Acceleration, and then maybe I want to start as a Duelist instead, and just go back up here and then connect back to the front of the Duelist tree, instead of starting as a Scion. So maybe I want to do a tree like this. Maybe that's a better idea. And then I could kind of, maybe instead of going this way, starting as a melee, or starting as a duelist, I could instead go this way and maybe pick up Mana Geyser, and then, go this way, and maybe I'm next to something that I might want to use, like, maybe if I wanted to specifically build around claws. All these claw nodes, I'm now right next to a couple of them. Like if I went up here, I could grab these nodes, or these really strong life leech nodes. And I'm right next to these nodes, and maybe I want to use a claw with this build. Maybe I don't. Maybe I want to use a sword. And I'm right next to a whole bunch of sword nodes, and more sword nodes, and a lot of sword nodes. So maybe I want to use a sword instead, because these nodes, if I go this way instead of this top route, I pass right by these. Where if I go the claw route, I have to kind of go up here to grab these claw nodes, or only grab this section and kind of skip out on extra damage nodes. Then there are the kind of more multi-purpose nodes, like the one-handed melee damage nodes, and maybe I could get by with just enough of those. That's also possible. Maybe I could still go with claws if I just picked up some of these one-handed melee damage nodes. And as you can see, I'm right next to a whole bunch of those, so maybe I can get by with that. Still need to grab Conduit though. So maybe this could be a build. Maybe this is like a potential build. I'd probably have to finish it out a little bit. Currently I have not enough life. I have 82% life, so I could probably grab that life. Maybe I grab that life. Maybe I don't want to go this way, and maybe I want to go this way instead. I don't really know. Maybe I want to grab some crit. But generally this is like how I kind of plan out builds. It's a real iterative process where I kind of like plan out one build, and then I kind of section it off in a different way, and maybe I want to do something different, be slightly different, use a different weapon, maybe I want to use a different skill entirely, maybe you want to just do a different build entirely, because I just can't really see how my original plan is coming together with the whole skill tree. Or maybe I just drop it and then just keep playing on a character I already made. So this is kind of like what I do when I plan out a character. It can sometimes take a long time. Sometimes I just kind of roll with something, just like, yeah, no, that seems like it could work. Why not just roll with it? And but usually there are some things I kind of aim for. The damage doesn't matter, and that's a really, really weird statement to say, but I'll try to go over that later at a different time. But really, the damage off the skill tree does not matter at all. It can if you don't actually have enough damage to kill things, but if you have enough damage to kill things, you don't need any more damage. That's just one of like the interesting facts about the game. It's like you only need enough survivability to survive what will kill you, and you only need enough damage to kill everything you don't survive from. So trying to balance the two is kind of what you should aim for. You don't need to overkill shit, and you don't need to be tankier than you really need to be. Because surviving with 1 hit point is still technically surviving. So yeah, that's skill tree, what it's all about. The gems in the game are also kind of associated around all these same themes, as well as the itemization as well. So that's a skill tree, that's what it is. I'm Gouda, and I'll see you next time. I will be doing a build planning session going over this in the live stream I'll be doing probably tonight-ish, maybe. That'll be happening, and I'll go over kind of a lot more stuff. It might take a while, I'm not really sure how long. But yeah, that'll happen. Anyways, I'll see you next time.